They'll lynch you, but he did, and he laughs at
Hi everybody, Russ on the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Happy Monday. Don't the weekends go too quickly. If you're new around here, welcome. Over 50% of you who are watching aren't subscribers. So if you could hit the subscribe button, you would do us a massive, massive favour. And while you're there, give us a cheeky like and a cheeky share. Make a comment, positive, negative. We always take your feedback, whether it's constructive criticism or blatantly just slagging me off. I'll take either. Because it's your opinion, same as mine. And it's all valid. As I said, hope you're all safe and well. We won a bloody game of football. Bloody hell. We actually won a game. Wow. And go back and check out my 5 things you learned, which I put up yesterday from the Brentford game. As we always do the day after the night before, or the day or 2 days after the night before, we do the rating show. We do tend to do it on the next available daily show. Massive week this week for West Ham. Massive week in terms of Saturday. We've got obviously Wolves. Could be not a save our season match, because every time do you remember what we used to do then back at the old ground, save our seasons, and then we'd always lose them. I remember Wigan, we had a save our season match and we lost it. So what does that assume? But it could be season defining and maybe career defining for Mr. Moyes on Saturday. Who knows if you're led to be believed. Well, hopefully we're going to put out a little show sometime this week as well, looking at the next manager of West Ham. Not saying that Moyes is going or whatever yet, but there will be a time. He's not going to be here forever. So looking at who the next manager could be, going through some of the runners and riders in terms of pluses, minuses, and putting together a bit of a collage, so to speak. So keep an eye out for that. We'll have Hammer's headlines tonight as well with some interesting transfer news. And there's lots of news coming out of West Ham at the moment. It's really it's where there was sort of nothing. It does. I mean, also, this weekend was probably the first weekend, I think, for a long time where the men's side, the 18s and the 21s all won as well, which is very unusual. But obviously, the under 18s undefeated in the Premier League, under 18 South League 2. No, not 2. It's 12 wins on a bounce now. Or 11 wins on the bounce. 4-0 they beat Crystal Palace. Amazing. And the under-21s won as well. Louis Zhao made his debut for the club in a 2-1 victory against Everton. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to Saturday now. Let's see who we've got in the chat. We've got Cornish, Soapy61. Cornish, Soapy61. Can you let me have the link for the Budgie's chat? I'll find it and put it up there. If Budgie's in the chat, feel free, Green Street Elite, whack it on there and everyone can see it. Evening, Alan. Hope you're well. I don't understand. We do well with the FA Cup, but tell me the league. We've only played one game. And we didn't play, it wasn't a great game, let's be honest, but we won, so we see. Irons, Toby's in, Matt's here as well. Sharky, hope you're well. Sunny Hornchurch, no? Sunny? I really wish, I hate, do you know, at the moment, it's the mornings are very dark, aren't they? Very dark. Coming your eyes indeed. Peter Chelmsford, hope you're well. All right, Russell, all in the chat, hope you're well, mate. Just imagine if we lose Saturday, gets a sack, and he turns his back at London Stadium as manager of Everton. But there was reports yesterday that Bill Kenwright was obviously still a massive fan of Moisey. He's on the list. He's on the list of the Everton job. So, apparently there's a £5 million compensation there. We'll see. I think Saturday's going to be it's going to be pivotal. Yeah, it's going to be pivotal in terms of what happens for the rest of the season. I think if he wins, and then that's pretty much right. Okay, well. We carry on the way we go. If we lose, then I think that could be the end, but we'll see. And today, we don't make decisions, do we? GP, hope you're well. Usual Suspects is here. It's Sunny in Kent. Good to see you. Oi, Steve. Hope you're well. Rob's in the chat. We won. Moyes in. There we go. Sunny but not warm. Well, it's not going to be warm, is it? But it's quite grey here. Nice to see everyone in the chat. So what we do, we do the ratings. I give you my thoughts of the players, how they performed in the Brentford match. You disagree. That's it. No half points in this game. No half points in this game. I have to make that point clear because people always put the points in and there's no points. There's no points and prizes. So let's start. Let's crack through it because I want to get your views and stuff like that as well. So let's go with. Let's get my slides ready. So let's start. Let's start with the goalie. Obviously, we were a little bit surprised with the inclusion of Mr. Fabianski. I was. Me and Anton both were. In fact, we did the starting 11 on the morning, and we assumed that Fabianski would be playing. We assumed he was going to be Areola. And in fact, the whole team, we didn't think it was going to be as strong. We thought it was going to be a sort of almost a flip reverse it. And if you love me, I'm going to flip reverse it. With Brentford, we thought Brentford were going to put out a strong side because they sort of got nothing really to play for apart from league position. They're not going to get into the Champions League spots, probably not get into Europa League spots. So the FA Cup was really the only silverware, I think, only chance they could go for it, really. And it's just like, it was the other way round, wasn't it? Other way round a bit. Very strange. Very strange. But, very, very strong side we put up, that was for sure. And Fabianski in goal. My thoughts on Fabianski's performance. Where's it gone? Where's my list? I've only stopped my list. Let me find it again. Sorry. Let me find my list. How embarrassing! I had it all lined up. Okay. Where is it? 2 6. There we go. Right. So Fabianski. This was his first non-Premier League appearance of the season, having made all of his appearances in the Premier League, with Areola playing the cup games. This was his first non-Premier League appearance, there was absence to Areola, whether he took a knock, I don't know. Preferred to Darren Randolph, who was on the bench. Barring catching crosses, his only real involvement was that great save he made against Wissa in the first half. Had to deny Keane Lewis Potter. I thought it was pretty poor, actually, in the second half. Hardly tested, but, did well. I thought. Did okay. Let's see what we got in here. I think we'll win the next season, but then maybe go on a bit of a dip, but who knows. Matty ratings, where he was so harsh, he makes the devil cry. Sane Felix, are nice to see. Grim in Billericay, says Toby. Right, GP's giving him a 3. 6, didn't have a lot to do. 6. Fab's a Polish appearance. 6, not a lot to do. 6, a lot of 6 coming out today, I think so. 7, 5, 6, 4 for distribution, overall 5, 6. So around sort of the 6s. I was a bit generous. I actually gave Fab I gave him a 6 as well. I thought I gave him a 7 for some reason, but I gave him a 6. Let's move on like Donkey Kong and talk about Emerson. Let's talk about Emerson. He, usual suspect, gave him a 6 as well. So obviously we went to a back three. First time this season, I think, we played a back three with actually 3 recognised centre-backs. So usually play back three, we play Cresswell in there, but we played with 3 regular centre-backs, which was quite unusual, I think. But Emerson obviously playing left wing back. Where's my notes? Obviously was somewhat overlooked against Leeds for Tilo Kehrer, which was a mistake, an experiment which didn't really work. I didn't think he played particularly well first half. After the break, he created that chance for Soucek, where he should have scored. And I thought he played a lot better second half. He needs, if that's his position, if we're playing a back three from now on, that's his position. It's nailed him. So I thought he played okay. What we got here? We got Emerson 5. How annoying the Leeds equaliser come. Check Hammer's headlines tonight, Happy, because I think it's annoying, but it might benefit West Ham. 6. Lake and Palmer. 6. 6. Like him to start a bit more. Rusty B, or Arto gave him a 5. Rusty B, pardon me, gave him also a number 6. I think he just, I think going forward, if we're playing this back three, obviously with the Wolves game coming in, Aguerd's playing, you'll have also the likes of Zuma back in the side as well. So I think there's needs more game time. You're totally right. Let's talk about Nayef. Nayef back into the squad, and obviously the second straight start this week, making his Premier League sort of start debut against Leeds on Wednesday, and I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was solid. And I think the combination with him, Ogbonna and Dawson, worked quite well. Defended well. What I liked about him was his and that's what I like about him as a player as a whole. He wants to start attacks from defence. So it's his range of passing. He likes to bring the ball forward. He's very, very calm in possession. You can see as each game is going by, he's looking more and more settled, more and more growing into the position and the play we know we've got on our hands. I think he's very, very good. And Happy Hammer makes a great point. No defeats with Aguerd so far this season. Undefeated we are in 2023 as well, and undefeated when Aguerd has played. I think we have got a very, very good player on hand. You can see why Moyes wanted this dude. This why he's his number one transfer target. 7, almost an 8, 8, 7, 7. Nathan wasn't up against much. Tested. You're totally right. 7, 8. Got a gem here, but we do wish Moyes would stop calling him Nathan. Indeed. But that's for me. He's like that. He's already got like a nickname already, and it's only because no one can pronounce his name properly. It's Nayef. I gave him a 7. Man of the match for me. I thought he was man of the match. I thought he was exceptional, and he's the rock we're going to be building this defence back up on. You know, it's almost like we've had to rebuild this defence from the ground up. He, for me, is what he's going to be the linchpin, and then we add Kurt Zuma in. Then we add the third, whether it is Ogbonna, whether it is a new signing, whether it is Tilo Kehrer as that third centre-back. Then we've got the Emerson. Then we look at the right wing-back. You know, then we've got Deck just playing in front of that back three. That's what we need. We need to start building it back up again, like we did when Moyes first came in. That's the first thing he did when he came for his second stint. Sorted out that defence, and that's what we need. Now, alongside Nayef was Angelo Ogbonna. Again, a really good display, I thought, for him in the heart of defence. There was a great diving block he did against Damsgaard's volley. I think it was in the second half. Second half, yeah, which was crucial. Also, really good at bringing the ball out from the back. And so again, starting moves from counter. That's how we need to get the ball moving, is from the defence, rather than just playing it across and playing it out to the left wing back. By the defender bringing forward, you're already committing the midfielders closing him down. So that gives space for the likes of Paqueta and stuff to start playing the ball a bit more creatively. A big thumbs up performance from Angelo Ogbonna, I thought. He's like a fine wine, isn't he, at the moment? What we got here? Nayef 8, Oggy OK 6, 7. Can't wait for the Aguerdens. Well, again, this to me is the master plan, isn't it? This is what Moyes wanted. So let's see what happens when they're back. Is Areola back? Is Areola going to be playing in goal against Wolves? Is it going to be Fabianski? I don't know. So we'll see what happens with this. We'll also give you guys the opportunity again to pick your 11s. We haven't done it for a few weeks because I've been out, but now I'm back from my holiday. Did I mention I went to Orlando for 3.5 weeks? No. And so we'll be giving you the opportunity to pick your 11 for the Wolves game and stuff as well. So make sure you keep an eye on the channel for that. 6, so some nice things. 7s is nice things about David Gold afterwards. Yeah, he did. Nat and Cat, very good. 6, very solid. Started getting sloppy with the opposition like that. A 7. 7 for Oggy from Steve. Russie B gave him a bomb. 7. Let's talk about their partners in crime. Let's talk about Craigie Dawson. Obviously, the third of the back three, playing on the right. We had Nayef on the left, Oggy in the middle, and Dawson on the right. Again, I thought defensively solid. I mean, we didn't concede a goal. That's the first clean sheet we've kept since Bournemouth in the sort of the domestic seasons. So that's good. Although, to be honest, I think Dawson, I don't think we were really tested. To be honest, a massive outlet for them is Ivan Toney, who is obviously is injured. Then Mbemo, who didn't play. So they didn't really have much to test them, really, in all honesty. The only time, he came... I think there was one time where I think it was their new signing, was it Glade? Glade, that's a plugin. Glade or something like that, where he did basically a professional foul on him. I mean, he's got. I mean, before the World Cup, he wasn't great at all, and he is getting better, more consistently, better since he's come back since the World Cup. But I thought he played okay. What have we got here? Where did you go? Oh yeah, I went to Orlando. Thanks for asking. 6, shaky performance. 7, Les 6. Not as good as the other centre backs. 7, 6. If Dolph plays, Wolves will score for them. He will score for Wolves for them. There we go. I know. I kept it quiet, didn't I? Russie B also gave Les a 6. You're right. For me, it was Aguerd and Aguerd as the top performer, then Oggy, then Dawson. Nothing against Les, but that's what it came to. Let's talk about Benny Boy Johnson, obviously playing right wing back. Whether that was whether he was always going to be earmarked for this game, or whether because of Soufal's injury he sustained against Dirty Leeds on Wednesday, maybe he was thrust into that position. We're not too sure. But he got a rare start at right wing back, and it's something that I've been calling for in terms of getting Ben some game time, because he does have a directness, he does have a youthfulness about him, which I think we need as a side. I mean, it's probably he must be his first minute since the Carabao Cup, I reckon. Probably. He hadn't played since, when was that? 3 months ago. Didn't make it wasn't great. Obviously, great energy, as always, you get with Ben. He always tries. But not much quality, I'd say. I think he struggled on the attack side. I think they sort of pinned him back a little bit on their left-hand side. And I think Moyes would have probably wanted him to do a bit more attacking. But it wasn't to be. But again, he hasn't been in the side since what was it? January. Yeah, it must be like November time. So he hasn't had much game time at all. 6, 7. Thank God you only got those ears, not a full chip. Oh, Pete, that's on my OnlyFans page. 5. Nor a right back side would have been my choice. 5 needs to improve. That's an area I think we need to look at. There's some names we've been linked with in that right sided defence, whether it's right back, right wing back. I think that's an area we definitely need to improve on. 6 has been messed about by Moyes. You're totally right. He's been led. He must have played 3 or 4 positions already for Moyes this season, and he's hardly played, in all honesty. Defending was good, but going forward, a bit poor. I totally agree, Michael. I mean, it's quite funny. You look at the attacking positions in terms of where we attacked. I think it was over half was down the right-hand side, but it was mainly from the left-hand side cutting across. So it's almost like it wasn't necessarily Ben overlapping. It's more like them crossfield balling to Jarrod to take them on and cut inside. So yeah, a kind 5, a 6 from GP as well. Russie B actually was a little bit harsh. I gave him a 5. Gave him a 5. Right, let's move on like Donkey Kong. Let's talk about Declan Rice, the captain. Again, surprised to see him in the starting lineup, particularly the likes of Flynn, Lanzini, Fornals. There's a number of players who could have played in his position, and given him a rest so he was, fully fit for the Wolves game. But then again, we do have a week until the next game, so I can see the reasonings why, Moyes wants to keep the momentum going, wants to keep that sort of that core still in the side, to sort of, that sort of Rice, Paqueta, Soucek 3. I think that's what we're going to be doing going forward. So it was important that they kept that momentum going. I mean, good first half, moved the ball well, playing the more defensive role, which is what we wanted to see, and I think it solidifies that defence very much the way he is at. And made his presence known, sort of dominated that midfield really. Struggled at times second half, I thought, a little bit. Gave the ball away a couple of times. Maybe when he was trying to do too much, it was almost like, okay, now I'm going to do a bit of attacking. I have to do something special to make me, But when he keeps it simple, he maintains the ball, and it allows the likes of Paqueta to do the more creative role. But, and obviously that it was a great tackle from Dec, which set up the winner for Saeed. But it was an okay game for Dec. I mean, because he's playing more defensively, you're not going to see those sort of maverick runs. He's going to be more under the radar a little bit, I think, than we have previously this season seen him. And that's not a bad thing, because I think actually that means he's doing the right job. And it's a job that he'll do at Man City or whenever he goes. We know he's going to go eventually. By all accounts, it's not going to be January, which is good. Who scored? Ben is our 6th best form player. Our 6th best form. Or our 5th worst player. Won't ever be in the squad play. Yep, no, I agree. Declan 7, head is elsewhere. Very solid from Deck. Great tackle and pass. 6, 7 for Rice. 6, Deck's only 6. A 6 is an 8 from anyone else in the team. You're totally right, Toby. Russie B gave Mr. Declan Rice a lovely little 7. 7! Who's next? Let's go and talk about Lucas Paqueta. Obviously playing the deeper role again, and was classy, I thought. I think he's a very classy player. And the Leeds game, this game, arguably some of that Brentford game, the previous Brentford game, you're seeing the cogs starting to turn. And yes, it's taken a long time, but I think they're starting to turn. My only slight concern with him is he wants to do everything. And it gives me massive, massive Tevez vibes of when Tevez first joined West Ham. He wanted to do everything. He wanted to win the ball back. He wanted to run the ball. He wanted to be up front. He wanted to do it all. And he couldn't do it all. And actually, I think for the first few games when Tevez joined, he was like a headless chicken. And there's a little bit of that for me of Paqueta at the moment. A little bit. And the responsibilities, the roles that's needed, it will settle itself down a little bit. But I think at the moment, because he's playing deeper, he feels like he has to get involved with all tackles, which is great. I read a stat that he did more tackles than anyone else in that game, or anyone in a team for West Ham, which is massive. Particularly, he's massive in two ways. Massive in he likes to get about, but actually massive in I'd rather him do it. Be a little bit further up. Now I know he's playing the sort of the 8 role, but he's almost playing more like a 6 than an 8, and he needs to be up a little bit more. You've got Declan Rice there, doing the holding, but he can afford to go a little bit more higher up, particularly with 3 centre backs as well. But he is getting there. Obviously, sometimes he does lose the ball, but in the same way, sometimes Benny loses the ball because he's trying too much. But we know he's got a great touch, little intricate little 1-2s. He knows when to get fouled as well. That's what I love. He's got that sort of, not dark arts about him, but he's got that sort of that understanding of, actually I'm going to get him to foul me there and just slow it down. That's what we need. That's what we need. Game management. I mean, obviously, considering he only had 1 shot on target, and I was listening to the commentary for the game, and they were a bit critical of he was too deep. But I don't necessarily blame that. I think that makes sense, because actually you can influence the game from deep if you wanted to. He has some clever tricks. He always had sort of 2 men on him, really, and a great work rate. And then I think with Soucek slightly further up, I think then when Soucek went off, I think he benefited him a little bit more. Let's see what we've got in the chat. Right, where are we up to? 8 for Pac-Man. Man of the match is their goalkeeper for having a stroke, as Benny's... Yeah, exactly. I understand that. Started to look more like he should. 7, 8. Needs to calm down at risk. Yep. Yeah, totally agree. He does like a challenge, doesn't he? And I think sometimes... Just slow down a bit. 7, Pac-Man even an 8. Man of the match for Mandy. 7... Paqueta tried too hard. Yep, no, I totally agree. It's a class act. We've seen the World Cup. Paqueta work rate and energy is definitely there. 8, man of the match. Has mad skill, brethren. Some of those little tricks. Yeah, he does. These little flicks. And it's sort of like common. It's just like in his locker. And that's what I really like. Kept the ball a lot better. 7. Hit the like button. Russ won't ask. Thank you, Michael. As I said, over half of you watching now aren't subscribers. If you half could become subscribers, that'd be lovely. And give it, while you've subscribed it, as I said, I don't usually ask, but give it a cheeky like. Give it a little cheeky like. Give it a little comment. whether you disagree or any type of comment, always helps us. It means that you're watching it and you're engaging with it, and we can engage back with you. And it just, if you don't like what we do, let us know what you would like, and then we can change it or we can make adjustments. It's your channel. It's your channel, really. Anyway, Lucas Paqueta, I gave a 7. Lot of sevens today. Lot of sevens. Right, let's talk about Tomas Soucek. Obviously, playing in there was 3 midfielders. Arguably, Soucek was more advanced. Spent a lot of time on the right side as well, randomly. But I wish he just pushed up a bit more central. Didn't think he had a great game. Considering you got sort of the dynamism of maybe a Declan Rice and a Paqueta, he does look like the poor man out of the 3. But it's almost like Moyes has got his Fellaini there, you know what I mean? In terms of breaking in, being a bit more central, a bit more direct. Gives us an option there, which, means that a defender has to keep an eye on him, which means there's space elsewhere. So it does, play itself off in an inadvertent way, I suggest. But I thought he was picked out too easy and stood out. It was a bit like a sore thumb in midfield with the other 2. Should have scored. Open goal. But his volley was about 7, 8, 9, 10 yards wide. I think West Ham looked better when he came off, which is never a good sign for a player. But I think what he does bring is he brings a big physical presence, which particularly with certain teams works really well. And, I think we need to... I think we know he's going to be hanging about. We know we're going to keep him there. Everyone's talking to each other. 6 for Soucek. Potato salad munch of 5. Oh dear, Soucek 4. Can't pass water, but now runs like a 3-legged giraffe. Not a good look. 4. Should have scored. Should have indeed. Actually played very well against Leeds. You're right. But he was poor. GP still. Fair play. I imagine he'll have still do his weekly probably tonight. Giving up for that. 6 for Soucek. Potato salad, but we've got the caviar at the table. Nice, Toby. I like that. Hit and miss this season. 4 for that miss. 2. And we need to get a holly emoji actually and take the stale one off. Yeah, we'll sort that out. 4, 5. Could have scored. Could have, should have, would have. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. You're totally right. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Russie B gave him a 6. And that was generous. I'm giving him a 5. I'm going to give him a 5. He wasn't very good. Wasn't a great game for Tommy. But as people said, Leeds was a lot better. He was a lot better against Leeds than he has been all season. 4, 5, indeed. Right, let's talk about Jarrod. I mean, probably the first game in about 3 or 4 games where he hasn't won a penalty. If I'm thinking, I think the last 3 games he's won a penalty. So what's going on? I'll be honest, he didn't really do much, but he didn't do anything for me to go to downgrade his score. He was there. He rarely threatened. Yes, he was really a threat to Brentford. In all honesty, and again, I was a bit surprised he was playing, but again, I think it's about momentum, cohesion, keeping the side relatively together. That's what served us so well in the last couple of seasons. Is not chopping and changing too much where we didn't have to. But he just needs another goal, doesn't it? Needs a goal to get going again. 6, 5, 6. Bonking Bowen just needs a goal to go on a run, indeed. Works hard, has improved. Yep, needs a goal. You're totally right. His work rate has improved a lot since the World Cup. Maybe that 6 weeks period he didn't go to IB for whatever as much, and he actually stayed at Rush Green to work on his fitness because he's not getting taken off. I remember last season he was one of the subs. So it's him for Benrahma. Every season there was like a sub, and Bowen was it for a long time. Then Benrahma was it for a long time. But you're totally right. Quiet again, indeed. Needs some serious coaching, picking up, cutting and drifting sideways. I want to see him get to the line more. Lost form, but so is the whole team. You're totally right. Mandy 6. I mean, yes, I said good point, GP. I mean, 3/4 of this side have lost their form. I've gone from 2/3 to 3/4, and that is a reason why we're down there, in my opinion. So let's see what I gave Bowen, because I can't remember. Let's go here. I gave Bowen a 6. Yep, fair enough. Yep, agree with that. Next, we have got Michael Antonio. Now, apparently, Gianluca had a minor knock, which is one of the reasons why he wasn't in the squad. And probably, if that was the case, and someone like Schweier probably wouldn't have had the game time, wouldn't have got on the bench. They'd have probably kept Devine on there, but Gianluca would have probably got on the bench as well. So that was why he wasn't in the squad at all. But, Mikel had a chance up front. Obviously, most of the season he spent as Gianluca's backup. Did he do anything to ask any questions? Not really, in my opinion. He went on one good counter-attack run, where he sort of did this weird dummy round the player. It was almost like he'd hit the ball off the player, and then absolutely ruined it by taking too long to make a decision what he wanted to do, whether he wanted to pass, whether he wanted to shoot. He just lost the ball, and that was a similar story to most of the first half for him. He'd be in a really good position, or he'd do something really good, and then it'd be ruined almost immediately afterwards because of indecision. And that's the story. As I said, I was very critical on him on the 5 things we've learned. You can see why we've had a link with Danny Ings, with Moffey from Lorente. Today we've apparently put a loan bid in for Nesri. You can see why that's an area we're looking to have some sort of option on beyond Michael Antonio. Didn't do very much in the second half. A few flick-ons, but that was it really. What we got in the chat, we've got is it a form or confidence? I think for Bowen it's form. I think it's confidence due to lack of form. 5. We need to take a few shots. We certainly do. Look at Skamaka. Look at the other day. 4, 6, generous for Antonio. What's happened? It's sad, really. I think Mickey's days are numbered, not half the beast he was. I don't mind playing Antonio on the wing. He's still got a lot to offer on the wing. And if you go back, I did a heat map of... Go back and check out the 5 things we learned, because I did a heat map of Antonio. And for our striker, for our man who leading the line, he was just stuck on the left-hand side. What does that... How is he going to score any goals when he's on the left-hand side? Apart from trying to cut in and then try and shoot out the box, which he can't do. He scored 1 goal in his whole West Ham career outside the box. And it wasn't really on the box, it was on the line. Bambi, a nice 5. 3, but he's 32. He has gone sadly, no threat. He's gradually getting worse. I actually feel sorry for the lump. Me had his number. He tries, but is no longer at this level, except as a sub-winger. Totally agree. 33 in March, and 2.5 years left his contract. 5, nothing special, nothing horrendous. 4, couple cut out to replace him for me. Be more of a miss since his new contract. Always the way. I think we should just get BBD. Check out Hammer's headlines tonight for my views on that. Divine offers much more pace and scoring threat. I totally agree. Has the new diet and training to stop affected him? Maybe, potentially. Has lost his beefcakeness. And yeah, obviously we apparently have put a loan bid in for Nesri, despite having a £30 million rejected for him in the summer, apparently. Rusty B gave him a lovely, very generous number 6. Very generous. Now, again, only talk about one sub, obviously, because the others barely had enough time. Let's talk about Said. So, obviously, back to his former club. Brought him with 20 minutes to go. Both sets of fans gave him a good old clap, which is lovely to see. And changed the game. We were playing quite tight. We didn't really have that sort of attacking flair. We needed someone with Paqueta on the same wavelength to make it work. Several times Paqueta would put lovely balls in, but the person he was passing to was miles away or didn't know what was going to happen. So for me, that was very much needed. And I think if you're playing Paqueta in a deeper role, Benrahma needs to play to have some sort of attacking threat. some creativity there. Obviously, we then switched to a 4-3, so a 3-4-3 rather than a 5-3, like 1-1, which made a massive difference. Obviously, he scored the goal. I don't think it was as a mesmeric shot as people said. I think the goalkeeper was totally wrong-footed. It was a horrible day for weather and stuff like that as well. Obviously, Declan Rice did the tackle, went aside, he lumped it and scored. Even if sometimes his execution can be a little bit off, in the same way with Paqueta, because he's trying things, he's giving the ball away. He does give the ball away a bit, but he still was brilliant. I thought something we were crying out for the opening 70 minutes was having something in the attacking third that could do that type of thing. And we'll see what happens with Benny in terms of the Wolves game, particularly. Nice that he didn't. I quite like it when players don't celebrate with their former club, and it shows some respect for both sets of players, both sets of fans, and that's what he did. West Ham lot cheered. The Brentford lot gave him a lovely clap when he came on, and so he sort of reciprocated that, so it was fair play. 7, 8, we need a wonder kid like when we got Payet, totally right. 9, any injury updates? Well, apparently Schumacher got a slight knock. Soufal had a slight, obviously with the Leeds game. Aguerd, I'm not too sure about. I think he had a slight knock as well. Benny, 8, 7 just for the goal, nothing else. Otherwise, we would have yet another game. We would in terms of the replays. 9, Benny's excited to watch. Fans love him, and because of the no love from Moyes, that makes him even more lovable. What does Benny need to do to impress Moyes? He changed the game. I think Moyes puts Benny in the right situations. Someone like the other day when they put Fornals in, that worked against Leeds. And I think in certain situations, what I like that. What to me is nice about that is, yes, Benny what Benny brings is creativity, bringing the ball forward. But what we're trying to do at the moment is tighten up that defence. Tighten up, and you can defend from the front. And what Fornals brings is real high press, real energy. So actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Fornals starts against Wolves and then Benny comes on when the game's opened up a bit. Benny's not great when the game is tight. He gets a defender tight to him, and he'll lose the ball because he's trying to break defences. When the game opens up, that's when you bring Benny on, in my opinion. 8, and getting Moyes off his effing back. It's very humble. Can't imagine Payet being so patient. Keeping Moyes in the job at the moment. Goalkeeper and a mayor, game changer, came on and the game woke up. Totally agree. And 8. We sit back against Moyes, Wolves, and we lose. I would have saved that shot. I think I would have had that shot. 8. Benny started a few games recently. Wasn't as good as the past 2 Impact subs. Areola is milking and injuries, as Peter. Russie B gave Mr. Benrahma a lovely little 7. And so that's the ratings. That's the ratings. That's if you agree, disagree, if you not watching this live, in the chat, let me know in the comments afterwards. Let me know your scores. Who's your man of the match? All that type of stuff. As I said, we'll make sure that you guys, the community, have an opportunity to pick your 11 next week. For the Wolves game. That'll be coming out the next day or so keep an eye out for that. We'll have the formations. You can pick the formation. Then we'll go. Then based on that, we'll then go for the players. So that'll be all coming up soon. Hammers headlines this afternoon. A few transfer rumours. A bit about Sonny Perkins and the guy Happy Emirate was a bit upset that he scored the winner the other for the equaliser for Leeds in their game against Cardiff in the third round. But it could benefit West Ham. Obviously, we drew Derby in the fourth round away, which means we've only got one home game in the whole of January, which is very unusual. Derby away. We should get good allocation as well at Pride Park. We're about 4,000, something like that, 4,000 or 5,000. So it should be good. Anyway, guys, as I said, if you're new around here, and if you are new, and if you're not a subscriber, over half of you aren't subscribers. If you could do me a really massive favour and just hit that subscribe button, that would be mental. Thank you so much. And while you're there, just give it a little cheeky follow. And if you want to not miss any content, there's a little bell there. You tick that, and you get notified of any time we put new content on. Obviously, we had this weekend, we had the watch-alongs, we had your starting 11s, we had the highlight shows, we had the rating shows, we had Tommy on Friday. This week, possibly ex-Hammer interview, Miami's 11 coming out this week. Keep an eye out for that in the chat. If you're a member, you know, we let you guys know and give you opportunity to ask questions if it's a pre-record. If not, you're free to come on and ask. Anyone's free to come on and ask a question to the ex-Hammer we have interviewed. Thank you, everyone, as always. I believe it's the channel's birthday, well, the culmination of Irons United, Miami's 11, and West Ham Network. I believe it's our birthday today. Happy birthday. It says it on my YouTube. I don't know if it really is. So anyway, take care and stay safe, stay warm, stay healthy, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends, and see you soon. Bye. Bye. Right, I press the button, innit?